see a lot of people entering the profession with a minimum of, first degree, which is quite good. Unlike, when people like me started, there was no formal journalism institute, and then just from classroom, we say, to the newsroom, and then you had to do some hands-on training to be able to get the required skills to be able to practice. So now that is changing. A lot of people are coming into the profession. A lot of people are they at least have their first degree. And there are some, quite, a good number that already have master's degree. With that level of academic qualification, we hope that, the level of, competence will improve a lot. The legal front, a lot is happening there also. Perhaps we will discuss that also. That's another indicator to gauge the level of journalism. The economic front, we are seeing some new investments in the media, something that was lacking. QTV is an example of that kind of investment that has come to up the standards of journalism in the country. Before that, job opportunities were very limited in the profession, and the existing media institutions were so constrained that they couldn't expand production to be able to expand product, to be able to uplift the welfare of their people. And as a result, the economic situations were quite, I would say very difficult. But now, more money is being injected in the media. Business people have seen it as a good business, and they are putting in money. So, which means that that area also, there's a lot of opportunities for growth.
Mustafa, how do you see journalism in Gambia today?
Today, like I alluded to before, in my opinion, there is a lot to be learned. There is a lot to be done, a lot that remains to be done. But Gambian journalists have done and are doing incredible work. A lot of cases that you could see before you. From independence to now, even before independence, Gambia's independence struggle was fought in the pages of newspapers. So even when we did not have any school to go to and study journalism per se, journalists have been in this country for close to 200 years now, since when first newspaper started working in this country. So it's not now, but if you look at the level of journalism now in the country, of course, when the change happened and people become free, a lot of things had happened, and public became critical because certain contents make their way into the pages of newspapers that they think should not have been there, or perhaps the activities on social media, things that confuse certain people as with regards to the role of the journalists. But I still remain unconvinced that we are in an abysmal state. I think we are in a good state, but there is still
room for improvement. Why is it necessary for journalists to be part of the union?
So people need to be part of the union for few reasons. One of them is to promote solidarity in the media. Just November 2nd, a few days ago, we had the International Day to End Impunity for Crimes Against Journalists. And then you've seen the UNESCO report. They are saying from 2006 to date, about 1,100 journalists were killed simply for practicing a job. In the Gambia too, we've had not quite a decent record, when it comes to the safety of journalists. Matter of fact, the history of journalism in the Gambia is written in blood. These are things that no individual journalist can do on your own. We need to come together and provide support to one another so that journalism will survive, and good journalism especially will survive.
Mustafa, what changes is your leadership looking forward to bringing to Gambian media?
I think when we came, in fact, even before the election, one of the issues that we were always talking about was the issue of capacity building in the media. So, but also effective management to also to engage media houses on, doing certain institutional reform processes. Because our opinion was that the capacity of journalists in so many cases, especially in the radios that have just come newly into the issue of news business, was little bit, below the level, because you remember on the Jambe, radios were not airing news. Few that have attempted were closed down, like the Taranga and others. So when the December election came and Jambe felt, and a lot of radios have started airing news, and there were concerns in some cases about the content and how it may inflame tension in X, Y, and Z. So our capacity coming into the GPU executive was issue of capacity. And you may know that GPU, a greater chunk of GPU's resources all goes to training. I mean, if you look at even the past executive, their Congress report, greater chunk of GPU's report, over 50% went into training. So that's our concern, and that's the trend that we wanted to continue. But also, I mean, when we are talking of content in the news media, like I mentioned previously, it's not just relating to journalists, the quality of journalists you have, but also the kind of media houses you have, the management structures you put in place, but also the amount of resources you allocate to news production. I know a lot of journalists in this country who, of course, have been paid, but they are using their own resources to get certain news articles. And sometimes they spend up to $2,000 on a single news piece, or more than that. And some of those people are using their own resources on news production. Now, but these are people who are paid somewhere around $5,000 or less. So when we are talking of improving content, we also have to, look at reforms within media houses, and also media houses are also affected by, in some cases, by, the economic environment. Advertisements have to come. You have to raise the necessary amount of money, because I mean, everything you invest will reflect on your bottom line in the end. So you need adequate resources, and that adequate resources can come from the economy. If the economy is not doing well, media doesn't exist in isolation. Obviously, media suffers. And when the media's revenues, it's affected, the news production is affected. The quality of journalism goes down. So it's not just hinged on capacity. So in that front, even at the GPU level, there are being efforts to engage the government in issues such as tax cuts, is on things that newspapers use, for instance, like rims, papers that newspapers are printed on, and some of the issues. But even newspaper registration, it's still as it were before. I mean, you need to, all the process you go through are still the same process you go through.
Does that bother you?
Of course it bothers us. Maybe probably Sekou will talk about that. He's the
let's hand it over to Sekou
on the GPU reform stuff, but yeah, it does bother the GPU executive.
Sekou?
Well, what we have here, the registration of newspapers and the licensing requirement for broadcast media outfits is not in line with international standards, of course. The Newspaper Registration Act of 2004, when it was amended the last time, simply says that when you want to register a newspaper, for example, you should provide a bond of $500,000. That's about 1 million. So now the question is, how many people can actually afford that? And then the same rule applies when you want to open a broadcast media. But apart from that also, under the Information and Communication Act, there is a different set of procedures that you should follow to be able to get a license to operate a television or a radio station. So for those that are interested in broadcast industry, for example, so which means there's an extra burden on them. You have to fulfill the requirements under the Newspaper Registration Amendment Act of 2004, and then you have to also follow the procedures as stipulated under the Information and Communication Amendment Act of 2013. So, and the United Nations, Human Rights Council, especially the Freedom of Expression rapporteur, states very clearly that state parties shouldn't impose unreasonable restrictions in the registration of media houses. Because to register a media house is an exercise of freedom of expression. An exercise of freedom of expression is not a right that should be reserved to only those that have means to do so, those that have the money. So which means if I am poor, I don't have the right to exercise my right of free speech because I am asked to deposit or provide a bond of $500,000, and I cannot do that.
Talking about freedom of expression, do you think it is still under threat in the Gambia?
Well, so long as we have laws in place that could be used to prosecute journalists, of course, yes.
Sekou, what do you think?
Well, freedom of expression is under threat everywhere in the world. And the Gambia, of course, is not an exception to that. When you look at the political environment, for example, there is this tendency that, yes, I mean, I can say something, but I shouldn't say it, Meaning, if I write something that someone is not happy with, yeah, you have a right to say it, but why should you say that? I mean, that's not in line with our culture. That's not in line with so-and-so. So it's not quite cool. And apart from that also, freedom of expression cannot go without access to information. That is very key. And not only do we not have a right to information law, but we also have an entrenched practice or culture within public institutions of not disclosing information to the public. And that doesn't work well in a democracy. Democracy, or the principles of freedom of expression, one of the most fundamental principles is called proactive disclosure of information, which means as a public officer or public institution, whatever you do or say, you do it in my name. And therefore, whatever you do in my name, I have a right to know about it. And since I have a right to know about it, I don't have to come to you to tell me. You have an obligation to tell me, because I pay you for that. But that is not what is happening in the Gambia right now. When you go out to get information, people feel that they are doing you a favor. Hey, I'm not going to talk to you. I mean, who are you? I'm not going to talk to you. I'm not going to give you this information. And at state level, I usually say they don't make any difference between information that is classified and information that is not classified.
That's right.
Even when you go to Ministry of Foreign Affairs, for example, not necessarily what's the case, but you say, I want to have your strategic plan. This should be a public document. Or I want
that's
to have
right.
your policy.
Accessible to every single Gambian.
Oh, no, that's a classified information. But what is classified about a public policy issue? What is classified about a legislation that should be out there for everyone to know? So then the awareness level is a problem. But,
they will ask you to go and write a letter. And when you go and write a letter seeking for an information or particular information revealed to you, it rots there. Nobody responds to you, nobody calls you, and that's how it dies. And these are things that all impacts on quality content for journalists.
That's right.
I mean, so when we are analyzing media content, we have to look at all these problems that journalists are facing on the ground. So, I mean, average Gambian journalist is really a foot soldier. I mean, I am in the field and I've seen the struggle they go through. I'm also in the press union, but I'm also in the field. I see the kind of struggle an average Gambian journalist goes through to get the most basic of information. That will not even send any, the typical he said, they said story. How much they struggle to get it.
And to complicate matters is the issue of impunity, which in the Gambia is still at intolerable levels. Since this new government came to power, we have documented at least 6 violent attacks.
The conviction rate is very, very low.
They don't even prosecute them.
They don't even prosecute.
So that's where the issue of impunity comes in. And then most of the attacks came from politicians and the police. Now, across the world, you do have instances where journalists are attacked. But then, under international law, state parties are obliged to provide specific measures to ensure the protection and safety of journalists. And one of those measures is to address the issue of impunity, such that when I got violently attacked, the state will make sure that the person that attacks me is investigated, or that attack is investigated, and the persons involved are prosecuted or face appropriate, punishment. But where you have an environment where journalists will be attacked, as they happen here many times, and no action is taken, then that is a situation that smacks the face of freedom of expression in the country. And freedom of expression will continue to be under threat in the Gambia when impunity is not addressed.
Let's talk about the laws, the existing media laws. What are they right now?
Well, the Gambia has a huge haul of laws that govern the operations of the media. I am not sure if I'll be able to count all of them, but the fundamental ones are sedition, for example. And you are quite aware that that is a piece of legislation that we at the GPU challenged at the Supreme Court. And we succeeded in the Supreme Court severing it, because sedition, for example, has about up to 4 provisions. There is a provision that says if you say your statement against the president, another point says if you say something against the government of the Gambia, incitement of violence. But they are saying that when you say anything now against the government of the Gambia, you cannot be charged to court for that. So that's not seditious, which is quite a success. But of course, and against ministers. But of course, when it has to do with the president, they said that could be seditious.
So there is an exception.
There is an exception. But this discussion will continue, and the engagements will continue. We're still trying to devise ways of ensuring that that is out. When it comes to false news, false publication and broadcasting, these are 2 different clauses under the criminal code. The Supreme Court also says that that is constitutional. So which means that false news is still constitutional, it's still in our law books, and when you publish or broadcast anything that is false, you could be charged to court for it. This is very much not in line with international standards of freedom of expression and press freedom. And we have seen a lot of countries, including, quote-unquote dictatorships, of Zimbabwe and Uganda, that have done away with the issue of false news. And I might explain why, false news, to remove it is important, because a lot of people misunderstood this. But before that, let me also say that you also have criminal code or criminal defamation in the criminal code. The Supreme Court says that is also unconstitutional, as in their ruling. And then you have the false publication on the internet, which is the most terrible law we've ever had in the Gambia. Because then they are saying that when you publish false information on the internet, and it's a strict liability offense. I can explain that. But they are saying when you publish anything that is false on the internet, you go to jail for either 15 years or you pay a fine of 3 million or both. So the Supreme Court says that law is also unconstitutional. So now we are left with some part of sedition, and we are also left with false news and false publication and broadcasting. But of course, there are other, statutes, such as the Terrorism Offences Act. And then you also have the Information and Communication Act. Still, there are provisions there that are not favorable to press freedom. The GRTS Act, of course, is not that much problematic. I think just a bit problematic in a way that it doesn't safeguard or guarantee the independence of the state broadcasting station, especially in terms of 3 components. 1, in terms of its governance, who appoints the boards. 2, in terms of its finances, and 3, in terms of its operations. So that is something that should be looked into, because the state broadcasting station should be transformed into a public service broadcasting station, and that public service nature should reflect in the act that establishes the GRTS. So apart from that, you also have the Domestic Violence Act. Still, there are provisions there that are not quite good. But essentially, like we always say, this is a luta continua.
And how significant it is as far as journalism is concerned. Which brings me back to investigative journalism. because I think that's a problem where we really need to build our capacity in this country. What is the level of investigative journalism in the Gambia?
So,
Of course, you're going to laugh at that.
So yes, you know, I am passionate about this area too. I would love to see this improved, but it's almost in a non-existent state. But I see it picking up because investigative journalism is at where it is, not because people don't understand how to do it, in my opinion, but because the resources available to journalists to do this is also, and the kind of media organizations we have and the kind of people who are in charge of news production in our newsroom sometimes is a problem. In my opinion, I've seen some few examples of very good work in journalism, which you may classify as a very good in-depth report or very, you know, good features. But where journalism exposes corruption and indict public officials are very limited. Very, very, very limited.
We will come back to that. Is Gambia ready for investigative journalism?
There is no better time for that. I usually say that we've had a situation here where we had an omnipresent figure, like an all-seeing person, an all-knowing person in the former president, because Jammeh had interest in every atom that moves in the country. Of course, there was corruption at the time, and of course, if the findings of the inquiry into Jammeh's assets are anything to go by, Jammeh is a very corrupt person. But one thing he ensures was to look after, you know, what is there for everyone. Now that strong man is gone. What should replace that strong man are strong institutions. And these are not just strong institutions, but strong institutions of democratic governance, institutions that ensure accountability and transparency in the country. And one such institution is the media. So which means the media should step in and step up in order to make sure that democracy is ensured in the Gambia, in order to make sure that Gambia is developed in a very inclusive way. And in order to do that, we must be able to hold to account those that make decisions in our behalf. We must be able to know how much money do we have, where is it going to, who is benefiting, why is that person benefiting from it. There are, of course, other institutions such as the Ombudsman, the Anti-Corruption Commission is not yet established. So which means that we have a situation where a lot of the institutions that should have been there to ensure democracy, to ensure accountable governance and transparency are not there yet. So the media here plays a very crucial role. So there is no better time for investigative journalism in the Gambia.
So in fact, one reason why I don't even like, I usually don't like the term investigative journalism, it's like it makes it too big that an average person cannot do it. I mean, I think journalism without basic tenets of investigation, it's a very gullible trade.
That's right.
Because we are into business of not just asking or revealing secrets, but verifying them. You know? And investigative journalism went ahead to expose them, but journalists must always be inquisitive. We must, you know, expose wrongdoings wherever they happen. So I can't see any functioning democracy that develops its economy and its institutions without proper investigative journalism. Because often even state institutions that are responsible for exposing corruption or trying public officials are found complicit in the act themselves. So who is the outsider that checks those who are within or inside the field? It's the media. So if that media, it's like there is nothing about investigative journalism existing within the media, then that country is screwed.
I'm so glad we are talking about the reporter's part and the journalist's part. What happens if a journalist is unethical in some way? What does the GPU do? Do they investigate?
Well, you want to answer that?
Well, the GPU, maybe Sekou may be the right person to talk about this, but the GPU is currently, GPU has, as part of its reforms, because you understand journalism as the political institutions and the economic institutions are transitioning from one era to another. Journalism is also transitioning alongside. Right. We've also come from a different environment altogether, and we're now in a different environment. So GPU is also reforming, and GPU has ethics committee, you have programs committee, and GPU has its own, I call it the small Bible, a code of conduct for all journalists. It's a small book that I have it in my bag. You can put it in your pocket and go with it anywhere. And this tells you what to do in which situation, how to report on things, what to avoid, things like that. So it's a code of conduct of reporting on children's affairs, women's affairs, and general basic ethical principles of journalism. So this is good, and it's with journalists. It tells you how much interest GPU has in ensuring that people do the right thing. So that is one thing. But also we have this ethics committee, and I think there are plans to establish media commission. There will also be a media council. There will also be a regulatory framework. There are also plans in place to establish an editors forum. These are all plans that we put in place to ensure that ethical conducts are held to the higher height, that journalists abide by the basic tenets of the profession. Because at the GPU, we are aware, GPU is the institution that protects not just the image, but also the interest of journalists and journalism in this country, because the two are linked. So if, for instance, the public opinion on journalists is not favorable, it's a threat to press freedom as it is, political as it is, the regulations on the media, tougher regulations on the media, because journalists need the public on their side. You cannot claim to be representing people who don't think you are doing a good job. So, and that is why journalists need to be in line with those ethical principles to have a favorable public opinion in order to effectively do their work.
Interesting. I understand that the Gambia Press Union recently launched a media review law. Tell us a bit about that.
So this is a compilation of the laws that we think affect in a very significant way the operations of the media in the Gambia. It came out of the position paper because the GPU has, for the past 1 year or so, been seriously engaging in policy matters. So we write a lot of policy papers and submit them to the government. So one such policy document was a legal position paper on media law reforms. So we thought at some point that it wasn't enough to just submit it to the government so that only the government and the GPU can have it. This is something that should be here to guide every individual journalist, and even those that are not journalists but interested in freedom of press matters. So that's why we printed it, of course revised it a bit, we printed it and circulated it. So that everyone gets a copy, everyone knows what kind of laws we have in the Gambia. That will go quite far in helping journalists to stay away from trouble with the law. And of course there are recommendations there. It will also put some form of pressure on the government so that everyone knows these laws are there now, so you should make some more concrete steps to be able to reform them.
Just before we go, Mustafa, what is the future of Gambian media?
I think very bright. I mean, if you look at the media landscape from December to now, December 2016 to now, you've seen a lot of positive impact. You've seen a lot of people coming into the industry. This institution itself is a result of that. You've seen the Paradise TV. And you've seen, what you've seen is new media being increasingly utilized, like the internet, the social media now being utilized by media institutions to reach more audience. You have Kerfatu, you have Fatu Network, you have Paradise TV online, you have QTV online, and you have radio stations that have come to join them. And you have, and I think the reward in journalism is also increasing, and you have more and more young people now finding it an attractive profession to come into. So I think we are recovering, and I think in a few years' time, you will be amazed yourself how much we are able to do in holding public officials accountable.
Right. Sekou?
Well, what should I talk about?
The future of Gambian media.
Well, I mean, it will boom. Definitely. It will boom.
That's a good thing. Now, what are some of the challenges that the GPU is currently encountering?
Okay. Maybe that may bring...
One of the biggest challenges that the GPU is facing is, of course, lack of adequate industrial strength. You know, there is a lot of, good or quote-unquote goodness in people coming together. So we do have a lot of potential members who are not necessarily members, and when they are not members, it means that GPU is still, weak. So efforts are being made to launch a campaign that will attract more membership to the GPU, because it is only when we have that kind of industrial strength, then we will become a force to reckon with. And I think that's quite important. The other challenge that the union is facing, of course, has to do with capacity issues. And of course, there are lots of transformations going there. What was happening at the GPU before was that GPU was not having full-time staff. Now that will change, or that has changed. With people like me, my role, now has changed. I am no longer an elected official. I'm appointed to head the GPU Secretariat, to run programs for the GPU and to give them all the technical support that they need. But then that means that we should have a lot of capacity building for the GPU itself as an institution to be able to fundraise well, to be able to advocate better, and to be able to communicate better.
Journalists out there, make sure that you register with the Gambia Press Union, of course, including myself. Interesting conversation with the panelists there. Mustafa Dabo, thank you very much for coming, Vice President of the Gambia Press Union, and of course, Sekou Jammeh, Secretary General, Gambia Press Union. Well, this now brings us to the end of this edition of The Viewpoint. Do join us next week for another exciting episode. Thank you very much for watching and, of course, listening on Q Radio, and bye for now. Stay tuned for more interesting programs.
There's a drive within us, a powerful force that keeps us going. It keeps us excited as we live, feel, and touch what we desire. Humans are social in nature. Contact is a daily activity that we find hard to live without. Showing care and consideration for people, their values, cultures, perspectives, beliefs, needs, and feelings will bring the best out of them and their societies in general.
Cash out.
The drive to attain great feats and realize our goals gives birth to different means of getting from point A to be, giving life a more positive feeling of wanting to push ahead with something, making it safer and secure. Discipline leads to consistency, bridging our goals and accomplishments. Discipline develops focus. A steady mind that results in development and growth, equipping us to better overcome barriers, giving us a better chance to raise the standards of our living and society. Reliability, delivery, and meeting up to expectations leads to our prosperity and paves the way for tomorrow efficiently.
Sir, what is New Gambia?
It is a Gambia as has never been known before. Its people have made history by becoming the first in the world to use democracy to put an end to dictatorship and tyranny, and then peacefully replace it with a progressive and hopeful system for all of us to benefit from. We are a people with pride, boys.
Sir, what is pride?
The first letter of the word is
P.
That P is for passion.
What is passion?
Passion is when love for anything or anyone is a seed you plant, then take very good care of it. And as it grows into a tree, you invite others under its shade and feed them from it. It now becomes everyone's property that can only get bigger, better, and sustainable. It becomes ours.
Manam, suñu boss.
Nko, ntale mu.
Nawi yon.
O khale nyani.
Ko NNJ.
Wafo ololi.
I get it, thanks. How about the R?
The R? It stands for respect. The respect you give yourself, your parents, your neighbors, your workers, your customers, your environment, your community, laws of the land, and above all, the respect you give to motherland Gambia.
What about the I?
The I in pride stands for innovation.
What?
It is the ability to create, to adapt, to develop, and to improve what you do and how you do it.
What does the D represent?
It represents the fundamental quality of discipline.
What?
It is a habit we almost have at home, in the streets, in public places, at work, and in mosques and churches. You see, without discipline, development will be very slow, and that is not what New Gambia needs.
How about the final letter E?
That E is for efficiency.
How do you mean?
Efficiency is being able to carry out tasks with accuracy, smartness, and total care, to the satisfaction of your customers and competitors. At school, in the streets, And that one.
Very good.
Golden deals in Batimat, the best deals of the year.
Yeah.
If I say discounts on the whole house, you say...
A new living room?
All right. And if I tell you incredible prices...
we make over the bathroom.
So take the plunge into the water.
Whoa. Yes.
Take your comfort to another level. So, do not miss the golden deals.
The prices?
In promotion. Batimat, quality guaranteed. The golden deal, the best deals of the year for the whole house with Batimat's quality.
This is Focus on Africa from BBC World News.
Stories of Africa.
I would like some clinics, more schools, more jobs.
The latest regional developments.
Polls have closed in Kenya's presidential election.
And up-to-the-minute business, art and sport reports.
Now, we start with the African Champions League.
News from around the continent seen through African eyes. Focus on Africa from BBC News on QTV.
The Q-City Conference and Event Center is a versatile state-of-the-art indoor meeting and event space located in the heart of Bijilo. The Q-City Conference and Event Center specializes in hosting all types of corporate and private events, from meetings, conferences and workshops to personal parties, weddings and special holiday events. We also have comfortable accommodation for retreats. Our fully air-conditioned hall can accommodate up to 500 guests in a variety of settings and is equipped with a full surround sound PA system. Q-City also has a side meeting room available for smaller meetings and events for up to 50 people. Q-City employs professional event coordinators to assist in planning any conference, convention, meeting, banquet or special event. Q-City's Conference and Event Center has world-class catering staff serving 5-star food options for banquets, holidays, all-day meetings and wedding receptions alike. For more information, contact the Q-City Conference and Event Center on 337-2489 or email us info@qcity.gm. Q-City Conference and Event Center, the perfect location for your event.
Physiotherapy helps restore movement and function when someone is affected by an injury, illness, or disability. By using mechanical force and movements, manual therapy, exercise therapy, and electrotherapy, physiotherapy remediates impairments and promotes mobility and function. The Q-City Physiotherapy Clinic offers treatment by licensed physiotherapists for orthopedic conditions like back pain, arthritis and fractures, neurological conditions such as strokes and diabetes, as well as pediatric conditions and sports injuries. The Q-City Physiotherapy Clinic has various massage therapies, including therapeutic, sports, and cosmetic. Visit the Q-City Physiotherapy Clinic today in Bijilo or call us on 337-2489 to see how we can help with your healing process. Q-City Physiotherapy Clinic, getting you back to better again.
Learn to swim at Q-City. Swimming is the only sport that children can do from birth, the only sport that can save their life. Swimming is a great exercise that helps to build strength, flexibility, and stamina. And most importantly of all, it's fun. Aspire at Q-City have teamed up to offer swimming lessons for children aged 5 to 16. Our swimming lessons are specially designed to make learning fun through guided activities provided by certified trainers in the Q-City 25-meter pool. The swimming lessons are structured into 2 levels, basic and advanced, and cover the basics of swimming as well as early self-rescue skills. The aim of the lessons is participants will become proficient in all 4 strokes: front crawl, backstroke, butterfly, and breaststroke. And it's all done in the way that kids learn best, through fun, in a safe environment. The swimming lessons at Q City run from Monday to Sunday and are only $200 per session for children and $300 for adults. To book sessions or for more information, call 337-2489, 321-1046 or 33-00055. Sign your kids up today for Q City swimming lessons for them to enjoy a lifelong love of water and healthy, happy lifestyle.
Run on tracks, right? Well, there are twists and loop-de-loops, but this track is still a closed circle.
So how could it get off its track and keep going?
Look! It's like there were more train tracks, but now they're gone.
Train tracks that disappear. It has to be a nighttime villain.
PJ Masks, we're on our way.
Into the night to save the day.
Night in the city, and a brave band of heroes is ready to face fiendish villains to stop them messing with your day. Greg becomes... Connor becomes...
Catboy!
Amaya becomes...
To the Owl Glider!
Hey, wait, Owlette! If we're going to follow that trail, we need to be on the ground.
All right, good point. I just really want you guys to ride it.
Okay, so to the...
Checker! I know, let's do it. She's really impatient. Come on, guys, let's go! Looking, nothing here.
Wait, Owlette! The marks from the missing train tracks are here, remember?
So if we follow them, we'll find the train? Yes! Let's go, let's go! Was that Romeo's lab?
It looked like it, Gecko, but it was all over the place. Maybe there's
Guys, never mind Romeo. If he's in his lab, he can't be driving that train, and we need to find out who is. Go, go, go!
Okay.
Hey.
No more tracks.
How will we find the train now? Owl Eyes! I see something up ahead. Something fast. That's it! The train! See? I told you it was fast.
Now let's see who's driving.
Romeo? Well, hello, PJ Masks.
But we just saw you driving your lab.
That wasn't me. No one's driving my lab. Silly thing short-circuited and took off by itself. Good thing I've got this super fast train to catch it with, eh?
But where did these train tracks come from?
Easy, huh? Thanks to my invention, the Tracker Whacker. It makes tracks anywhere.
Wow, that is pretty cool.
And what's even cooler is the other one at the back that picks the tracks up again.
But Romeo, you don't need this train. We can catch your lab for you.
Ha! Like I'm giving this train up once I get my lab? No way! With the tools from my lab, I can make this train even faster. I'll be the fastest villain in the world. cool. Ha! I'm almost caught up with you, you naughty lab. Ha! Those PJ Masks were never gonna catch me in that super slow cat car.
Come on, PJ Masks. Let's stop Romeo. Super Owl Wings. Owlette! Whoa, I was almost bird feed. Thanks, Catboy.
No rush, Owlette. We'll get there.
Hey, let's sneak up on him really, really slowly. Why be slow? Let's just go. Whoa! Whoa! Owlette! I'm okay.
Huh? Those PJ Masks couldn't be on my train, could they? Better make sure they're not.
Sorry, guys. Looks like Romeo found out we're on the train.
It's okay. New idea. We all go after Romeo at once. He can't stop 3 of us. Okay, on 3. We all run and jump. 1, 2...
Come on, guys!
Owlette!
No, wait! Whoa!
Why didn't I listen to Catboy and Gecko? Romeo's almost caught up with his lab. Well, because I was in such a rush.
Owlette!
Are you all right?
Yes, but I'm sorry. Every time you made a plan, I rushed ahead without you. And then it didn't work.
It's okay. You were just really excited about us riding the train.
I'll take care of this robot arm. Super Gecko Muscle!
But now I've got a plan. And for it to work, I'm going to have to wait. It's time to be a hero.
Yeah! I know you're all in there, PJ Masks, but not for long.
Quick, what's your plan, Owlette? We're going to stop this train for good. And we're going to do it together. Catboy, you leap up and grab some tree branches. Gecko, you crawl down next to the tracker whacker.
Got it, Owlette.
Then it's my turn. I'll fly the branches to you, and you can use them to jam the tracker whacker and stop the tracks. Without tracks, this train won't ever catch Romeo's lab.
Great plan, Owlette. I think it'll work.
As long as I wait for you guys to do your thing first.
Go, PJ Masks!
Oops. Remember, Owlette, don't rush. Your turn, Catboy. I'll just, wait.
Okay, my tracker whacker. More tracks! More tracks!
Super Cat Jump!
Okay, now it's my turn. Nice and easy.
Nice one, Owlette. What? Stop it, you PJ Pest.
Too late, Romeo. Gecko, jam that tracker whacker.
Super Lizard Grip! Hang on to me, everyone! I've got this! Super Gecko Muscles! Aww. Huh?
See, Romeo? I told you we could catch your lab.
My lovely lab, yes, yes, yes! I might have lost my train, but I'll always have you, my lovely lab.
Now let's get this train back home.
Everyone at the fair will be so happy.
I'll beat you next time, PJ Masks!
Huh? He didn't even say thanks for helping.
Don't worry. worry, Gecko. We saved the fairground flyer train.
PJ Masks, I'll shout hooray! 'Cause in the night we save the day! Yay! Come on!
It's almost time. I've been on this train once, but I can't wait to ride it again.
Whee! Yeah! Hey, you guys go ahead. Really? Thanks, Amaya. I'm happy to wait. Enjoy the ride. It goes pretty fast. Gecko and the Rock of All Power.
Kung Fu?
Yeah, I found it on a table. It's filled with cool stories about Kung Fu masters. Check out my book. It's about the strongest athletes in the world.
Wow!
That's not the best part. Look at all the stuff he's won. Trophies, cups, medals. Hey, maybe I'll win a medal one day. I'm not sure there is one for Super Gecko strength.
Come on, let's go read in the park.
If only I could win something to prove I really am strong. Greg?
What happened to those lampposts?
They're totally bent. Wow, whoever did this was strong.
Maybe, Gecko, but they don't get a trophy for it. Bending lampposts is wrong.
Who did it? Let's head to HQ for answers. PJ Masks, we're on our way. Into the night to save the day!
Night in the city, and a brave band of heroes is ready to face fiendish villains to stop them messing with your day. Amaya becomes...
Owlette! Yeah!
Greg becomes...
Gecko! Yeah!
Connor becomes...
Catboy!
The PJ Masks! To the Gecko-mobile!
By my cat's whiskers!
Look out! A giant rock loose in the city? I said fast, you ninja lazies! I've got a rock to break into! Night Ninja? What's he up to? It has to break! Nothing can survive my mega triple punch! Ow, ow, ow! Practicing a new dance move, Night Ninja? Not even close. You PJ pests don't have a clue what I have here, do you?
A great big rock?
Not just any rock. My Ninjalinos rolled it here from an ancient temple high on a mountain thousands of miles away. It's the Rock of All Power.
The Rock of All Power? I read about that in my Kung Fu book. There's a legend about it. Hidden inside is a precious medallion.
Like this? That's like a medal! A medallion, not a medal. Only the strongest hero can break the rock and claim it. And by strongest hero, I mean me. Strongest hero? But you're not even a hero. Just wait till you see that medallion around my neck. Try laughing at that. A medallion for someone super strong, huh? If I had that, everyone would know I was the strongest.
Gecko? What are you talking about?
What if I smash the rock? Then Night Ninja won't get the medallion. I will. I'll wear it. I'll be just like those athletes in my book. Use your Kung Fu training, Ninjalinos. Oh, you need to chop harder. Like this. Hi-ya! Oh, you're not strong enough, Night Ninja, but I bet I am.
Gecko, stop!
But if I break the rock and get the medallion, Night Ninja won't keep trying and smashing stuff up.
In your daydreams, lizard legs. Ninjalinos, roll that rock. Keep it up. It's bound to crack.
If he keeps whacking that rock around, he's going to flatten the whole city. We've got to stop it.
Come on, I've got a rock to break.
No one can smash that rock, Gecko. We just have to stop it.
But the medallion would prove I'm super strong. I could hang it on my wall.
You are super strong. So if you hit that rock, it'll really go flying. Let's try something else. I'll run circles around Night Ninja and his Ninjalinos.
Yes, and I'll fly Gecko in so he can...
Smash the rock?
No, take it to HQ.
Okay.
Let's go. Super Cat Speed!
Got it! Now to carry it back to HQ. Just one try won't hurt. Super Gecko Muscle! Oops.
Gecko. Huh, he messed up your plan, and his teeny lizard legs didn't make a dent. Now watch the Ninja Master use all his strength. Ninja Smash and Crash! The playground! Oh no! Owl win-win! Catch it, Gecko!
Whew.
Nice save, Gecko.
Thanks. Why don't I have just one more try?
Huh? But
I'll be really careful. I know I can get that medal, especially with my Super Gecko Triple Punch.
That lizard doesn't pack a punch.
Oh, yeah? I'll get it next time. You'll see.
Ninjalino battering ram. 1, 2, 3.
What? I'm totally strong enough. Gecko Rock Crusher! It still didn't break. One more try.
There's a point when this gets silly.
You mean it wasn't when Night Ninja did his swinging off a lamppost kick split?
I found him!
I'll break it, you'll see. Even if I have to smash it against the toughest building in the city. Guess what that is? Not our headquarters. What if it breaks? We can't be PJ Masks without HQ.
You can't do that, Night Ninja.
I'd have thought you'd understand, Lizard Legs. You've been trying to break this rock, too. Jump!
Wriggling reptiles! I can't let this happen. Oh, no! Ah! Whoa!
It's heading for us now. Oh, don't just stand there staring.
Phew!
Fluttering feathers. That was close. Night Ninja's out of control.
And it's all my fault. Super Gecko Muscles! Sorry, guys. I should have put the rock in HQ like you said. But I didn't. And the rock ended up nearly getting you.
It's okay. We got away, and HQ's fixed.
But you were in danger. Everyone's in danger, as long as that rock's around.
You might be right about that.
Prepare for shock and awe. If we use this, the rock will hit even harder.
No way. It's time to be a hero. We've had enough trouble with that rock.
There's no stopping me, lizard boy. The medallion will be mine.
Gecko, no! Run! That rock's out of here! Super Gecko Muscles! me! Suddenly I felt stronger than ever.
That's because you wanted to save us from danger, Gecko.
And it brought every bit of super strength out of you.
You're right.
Give that medallion back! It's mine! No way is that yours, Night Ninja. But I broke the rock. I threw it at your HQ.
You threw it, but Gecko was the one who broke it with his super strength.
Oh, but that makes no sense. How can a lizard be stronger than I am?
It's because true strength comes from caring and helping your friends.
Where's the fun in that? Fine. You Pee-wee masks can keep it. But I'll be back when you least expect me. I'm sending you back to that ancient mountain temple for more training, Ninjalinos.
You definitely deserve that medallion, Gecko.
Thanks, but it's from far away, and there's a legend all about it. Who needs a medallion anyways? I'm giving it to the museum so everyone can see it.
Cool. And maybe there's another way you can prove your strength before we're done.
PJ Masks, shout hooray!
'Cause in the night we save the day! Awesome! Whoa. Wow! Whoever broke that rock must be super strong. But who was it? It's a mystery.
She's going to wake him! Let's stop her!
Don't just throw the puppets on the floor. Look how great they are! That's it, puppets. Do a little dance, then wave to my friends.
Stay back, Luna Girl. You shouldn't wake a sleepwalker.
Maybe I won't wake him, but I will play with him. Come to Luna Girl, puppet boy! No! Get out of the way!
Gecko, put the puppets down. We need you.
I'll be right there, guys. Come on, puppets. I have to go and help my friends.
He's mine now. Super Owl Wing, Super Cat Jump! Got you, snoring boy.
That's it. Sit down here, nice and comfy. Okay, coming.
Look at him. He looks like a plodding old dinosaur. A snoring dinosaur. I'm going to call him, Snorosaurus.
Wow, Luna Girl's actually pretty good at moving him like a puppet.
Gecko, we need to get that Luna magnet, but we can't wake Cameron.
You wouldn't be in trouble if you hadn't been messing around with those puppets. Are you with us?
Yes, of course. Sorry.
Okay, ready, PJ Masks?
Owl Wing Wind! What? Get off, Mox! My Luna magnet! Give it back!
Okay, Cameron, let's get you to bed. Now, how does this thing work?
Whoa!
Gecko, what are you doing?
I'm getting Cameron to safety. Check it out.
I'm the Snorosaurus. I'm stomping home to bed.
Come on, this way. Oops. Sorry, this way.
Gecko! Stop messing around.
No, this is good. Now I've got Cameron and the puppets.
Let go of me.
Can't hold on.
Now I've got you.
Ha! Think your puny vehicle can stop my super ninja bus now that it's complete?
That ninja bus does look super strong. What if I really am too little?
We'll save you, Gecko!
It's okay, Gecko. I'm here. Oh! Ha! Furballs! I'm stuck!
Help! Gecko, we need your help!
Slithering serpents! You need my help?
That's what friends do.
Friends look out for each other. And that's what you were doing for me.
Yes!
Then that's what I'm going to do for you. It's time to be a hero!
Gecko-mobile swinging flames! Yeah!
Super Gecko muscle!
my ninja bus, then I'll have a PJ Masks vehicle instead. And painted ninja black and ninja blue. Catboy Owlette, I need your help! I'm coming! Here go! Na 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 na. Ha! Finally free!
Hey, Night Ninja! 3 PJ Masks helping each other beats all your Ninjalinos. Do that, huh? Where'd it go? Super Cat Jump!
Hiya! Sticky Splat!
Whoa! Gecko! Owlette! I'm trapped!
Now your Sticky Splat stuck. Night Ninja, release him immediately! Ninjalinos, now! My spy won't help me get into PJ Masks HQ. I'll just do it the old-fashioned way. Hold them, Ninjalinos.
What am I going to do? Night Ninja's going to use HQ against us. Huh? You're helping me? Thank you, little Ninjalino. I should have helped you when you needed me to. We should always help when someone's in trouble. Sorry. It's time to be a hero!
Now, if you want me to set you all free, tell me how to get into your HQ.
What? Never!
Huh? What? You got free!
That's right, Night Ninja. And you'll never take over HQ. Not with Catboy to stop you.
Oh, it was you who let that PJ Pussycat free, wasn't it?
Super Cat Jump! Take!
bu ñu ganal jotee dañuy yàkkamti ñibbisi ba fekk fi Sophie. Sophie du sama yaay de kii mooy Sophie meew bu neex bii tax fu ñu tollu mbégte lu takkaliko ak ñun. ba tax na bu fi Sophie nekkoon lu nekk la ñuy jaral. bul ko wax sama yaay de. li ma ci gën a neex mooy daf ñuy dajale ñun ñëpp ndax Sophie dara dàkk ko te meew nag lañ ko defaree.
meew Sophie daal moo fi mën.
Learn to swim at Q City. Swimming is the only sport that children can do from birth. The only sport that can save their life. Swimming is a great exercise that helps to build strength, flexibility, and stamina. And most importantly of all, it's fun. Aspire at Q City have teamed up to offer swimming lessons for children aged 5 to 16. Our swimming lessons are specially designed to make learning fun through guided activities provided by certified trainers in the Q City 25-meter pool. The swimming lessons are structured into 2 levels, basic and advanced, and cover the basics of swimming as well as early self-rescue skills. The aim of the lessons is participants will become proficient in all 4 strokes: front crawl, backstroke, butterfly, and breaststroke. And it's all done in the way that kids learn best, through fun, in a safe environment. The swimming lessons at Q City run from Monday to Sunday and are only $200 per session for children and $300 for adults. To book sessions or for more information, call 337-2489, 321-1046 or 33-00055. Sign your kids up today for Q City swimming lessons for them to enjoy a lifelong love of water and healthy, happy lifestyle.
badi bunka nata ko nga fale ko anata la jawaro nata kiba manata.
Shy Boy Money, Shy Boy Production.
Fauru, Asulu, Aiwali, Belorin Sama Singola, Fabambanta, Belorin Sama Singola, Fabambanta, Belorin Sama Singola, Fabambanta, Belorin Sama Singola, Fabambanta, Makamanata, Anata, Kibamanata, Anata, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Kibamanata, Anata, Makamanata, Anata, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Sanyi Jama, Amintunkuma, Maketa, Muruntana Kama, Niminko Boma, Titalon Digila, Nisuko Keba, Nenemaja Motinyam, Kanuntel Baluma, Dalu Saranula, Lavitanya Minna, Nebara Niwala, Manasilo Bula, Nenachosano Jamfala, Pololengon Kafunuma, Olengarandina, Makamanata, Anata, Kiba Manata, Anata, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Kiba Manata, Anata, Makamanata, Anata, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama, Karelo Dubo, Yakili Wanyama. Sondo mokang atozano ngawala wala tingbala kang mu mama la keta fe ngawala sulotun birinja na famanding na gambia jang ngatale ngajang kwe mo benita kwe mo benita makamanata anata kiba manata anata karelo dubo yakili wanyama karelo dubo yakili wanyama kiba manata anata makamanata anata karelo dubo yakili wanyama karelo dubo yakili wanyama sanyi jama ngamintunkuma mu maketa muruntana kama niminko bo mala titalon digila